Hey folks, this is Casey again, back once again with Old Enough to Know Better. I know it's been a while, but I'm old and my memory's going and it's hard to remember that I like to do videos. But I'm back once again with this little gem called Nimble Quest. It's a simple little game. It's one you've played countless variations of, but this one turned out to be pretty addicting, I gotta say. This is made by Nimblebit, came out originally on a cell phone on the mobile market. So as you start out, you got your little characters here, your little heroes that you unlock as you clear out new boards and areas. I like this Gizmo guy, he's pretty cool. You got some buffs that you can pick if you want to. I don't usually deal with these too much. You can skip to the next stage. That you have to use these tokens that you collect. I've only got one token right now. You got buffs you can buy. I haven't played with these too much, so we're going to go ahead right in here. And as you'll see as you start going, I'm controlling with just the arrows on the keyboard. It's dead simple. I run over my new guy, pick him up, and that's it. And I hit the wall, so I'm out. This game, sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it goes really poorly. It's usually not a whole lot of in between. It's a basic game of Snake that you've played forever on your cell phones while you're sitting on the shitter. It's no different, except for it's got pretty pictures. And you got these little dudes that attack other things as you're going by. So, I mean, obviously there is some difference, but the basic gameplay, it's the same old Snake that you're used to, that you've played forever. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's a simple concept, and it makes for a simple game. I had this on the cell phone for a while when it first came out. It was alright. I never got into it though because I have big hands and I didn't think it controlled very well on the phone with the touch controls. Maybe that was just me. But again, I'm a big oafish man, so that could have something to do with it. Now that it's on PC, typically this runs for $5 on Steam. I saw it came out on December 13th. Or no, December of 2013, I should say, not December 13th. It came out just this last year, so it's been out there for a while. It's always been at $5. Reading through the game deals subreddit on Reddit this weekend, I just happened to notice that they were selling it for 90% off. So right now, through this weekend, you can get Nimble Quest for 50 cents. And I gotta tell you, from the hour and a half, 2 hours I've played on it off and on throughout today, as I bought it, it's been well worth that 50 cents. It's maybe been one of the best values, coin to entertainment values I've had so far, just because I paid so little for it. You can also play with your controller if you wanted to, your gamepad. I played it a little bit on that. I am preferring the keyboard though because it's a little more precise. The analog sticks don't work like you would expect analog sticks to typically work in a game. So it throws you off a little bit. You got to build a rhythm and figure out that rhythm. With the keyboard, it's pretty easy. You press, you turn, and you move and go. It's not super responsive, so you got to be prepared for that as you play. These little coins here count as currency. You can use them to buy upgrades. Not these buffs, these are temporary, but you can use them to buy upgrades in another screen that make different effects last longer. There is a tutorial mode in this game. I haven't messed with it because, I mean, there's not a whole lot to figure out. There's a couple different power-ups and pickups you could get, like that just gives you increased attack speed. You've got treasure chests. You've got a magnet that will help draw this stuff to you. At random, you will unlock new heroes as you kill stuff. As with plain old Snake on your cell phone, you can't touch the walls. You can't touch your own line. It gets a little harder as you get higher levels and you got more dudes unlocked. There's a shield that you get that helps you. You get some health power-ups too as well. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see that green bar that's partially full. That's kind of like an experience meter, but you get that full and you've cleared the level. So you just keep killing until that fills up. And then when you see all these gems pop up and start moving towards you, that means you've beat the level and you move on. They get a little bit harder as you go. You get a little more enemies on screen. To up your difficulty, it takes a little bit longer to clear the boards, so you're dodging more and more stuff as you go. I bumped the wall, so we will go one more time here from the start. As you can see, there's not a whole lot to this game, but for 50 cents, it's a steal. It's a blast. It's a good way to unwind after work or something like that. You got 10 minutes to blow. This is a good way to blow it, but it's fairly addictive too, just for as simple as it is. I kind of like these simple indie games. They entertain me a lot, so sometimes I just don't have it in me to sit down and get into a story-heavy game. So these little games are a blast. Hero Quest is another favorite of mine. I will do another video soon because I played the crap out of that one. These games I seem to enjoy a hell of a lot, and this one's going to fit in well with my little collection of them, so I'm pretty excited. It's easier to make those tighter turns with your keyboard, I found. The joystick, it's pretty easy to think you're going to turn, but it doesn't either register or you have a pause after you hit it and it takes a minute, and so that gets confusing. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So far, the keyboard using the arrows seems to be the way to go because it's super precise from what I've found. Makes life a lot easier. There's your health jar. As you can see, things do disappear if you don't pick them up right away. You got a limited time to pick up your loot. Important to keep that in mind. So sometimes you have to plan your route to get back to it. I enjoy the music on this game quite a bit too. It's pretty fun. It changes a bit per level. The sewer one's pretty funky. I like it. It's got a good beat. I'm just enjoying this game a whole lot better with the keyboard controls than I did on the mobile with the touch controls. Oh, see, I crossed my path there, so I hosed myself a bit. There we go. As you can see, it is extremely kid-friendly, too. There's not a whole lot of gore at all. Actually, there's no gore at all. So it's not overly violent. Pretty cartoony. So it's a good one if you got kids that like to play on your computer, getting your Steam account. This is a good one for them to throw in there too. And for dirt cheap, it should keep them happy for a while. And you get to teach them kind of a classic game style. My daughter kind of rolled her eyes at me when I showed her this and said it was a ton of fun. She didn't seem to believe my idea. But then she went and played Minecraft for another hour, so which is not my thing. But what can you do? So that's it. That's another episode of Old Enough to Know Better. As always, you can find me at bloodygoodhorror.com on the Bloody Good Horror podcast from week to week. You can find me on the Instamatic podcast every other week where we talk about Netflix movies. You can find me once a month at 1951 Down Place where we talk about Hammer films. And I'm back to writing again, so I'm doing a lot of articles on horror and things like that over at bloodygoodhorror.com. Come check them out. If you want to say hi, come find me on Twitter at KCBGH. And until next time, play some games, have some fun, and remember your bedtime.